Good evening. We're here for our annual tax budget hearing for the fiscal year of July 1, 21 through June 30th, 2022. And I already have the first page of the tax budget up, which is primarily the most important as far as I'm concerned, because it's the general fund and it takes care of all of the funds if something should go awry in some other funds. So as most of you probably remember, the tax budget is done based in 6-month increments, and it's based solely on the information we have at this time from the source documentation we have at this time. So as you can see, it's divided up based on the way we receive the money, potentially receive the money. And you see that it starts with January 1, 2021, the first column, and ends at June 30th, 2021. And then the second half is July 1, 21 through 12/31, 2021. And then we have the third column is the total calendar year number. You think they can hear me? Okay. The fourth column starts the 2022 calendar year, and it's the first 6-month increments from January through June 30th. Fifth column is the last half of the 2022 calendar year, and it is from July 1 through 12/31/2022. The next column is the total calendar year of 2022. Then the important column for our purposes is the last column, which is for the fiscal year of 2021 through 2022. And that starts on July 1, 2021, and ends on June 30th, 2022. So as you can see, if you were here for previous tax budget hearings, these numbers are pretty much the same. There are a couple of areas that are being reduced, such as some of our property tax. Well, our property tax allocation is almost static, but we have had an increase. We're expecting a slight increase in our general property tax. As you can see, from one calendar year to the next, from 2021 to 2022, it goes up by $145,000. And again, this is based on the source documentation we have at this time. All of this is subject to change. And that takes care of pretty much the property taxes at the top. Then we have the major source of our income, which is from state sources. And we receive the bulk of it from our state foundation, which is line 3110, unrestricted grants and aids. And we are projecting a slight increase in that line as well, almost 260,000, except I can't see that number. Is that an 8 or a 6?
6.
Okay, so that's 240,000 from calendar year to calendar year, and then a little more for, it's about the same for the fiscal year 2021 to 2022. Just a little bump of about 21,000. And you see those numbers are pretty much the same all the way across the board. The restricted grants and aids, excuse me, those are wait, that's not the one I wanted to talk about. We are receiving some money for deregulation reimbursement, and then we receive money for our students in poverty, and all of these numbers are included in the state sources. And then our very last source is for all other revenue. That's down here. And you can see that's made up of fines and just different areas, leases, if we do rentals. It's a very small portion of our overall budget. And the non-operating figures are generally transfers from other funds into general fund, where we've perhaps advanced money to other funds, like some of the federal programs, and then it's sent back to us, so it's not considered an operating amount. And you'll notice that the far end is the number for the 2021, 2022 fiscal year, and that figure has to match what we put on the 5-year forecast for the same fiscal year. You can go to the next one, Michael. I feel like I'm talking. It's very strange. This page is about our bond retirement fund. As you know, we passed a bond for $33 million in 2007, and it takes approximately 25 to 27 years to pay off, and we collect those taxes, and that's that very top line is the general property tax. So that money comes in, and then there's the public utility personal property, and those dollars all come in and help us pay off the bonds that we issued in 2007 for the buildings that were constructed over the next couple of years after that. And the majority of the expenses are paying for those bonds. Well, we're on the revenue side. So this is all the revenue at this point. I got a little ahead of myself. And you can see the total fiscal year for 2021, 2022, the bottom line is $2,614,173. And it's just a little bit over the calendar year of 2021. And gradually that's going to decrease as we continue paying off the bonds. The amount of the bonds and the interest decreases. So next year this will look different. The only other, and this is the expenditure side, and as you can see where it says under 6,000 repayment of debt services, we pay off $1,035,000 in from July 1 through 12/31/21, and the following year we pay off $1,065,000, and then as you can see the debt payment interest, which is on the line below that, continues to decrease over the years. Next one. Thank you. The permanent improvement. This is our Fund 034. That was part of our original I've lost the word, excuse me, when we were able to pass the bond issue in 2007, 0.5 of that had to be put into a permanent improvement fund just for improvements on the new buildings. It can only be used on the buildings that were covered by that bond issue at that time. And so we bring in roughly 0.5 mils, and that goes collected through property taxes and completely through property taxes. And then the next page is the expenditure side, and all of that money is used to repair or replace items in our new buildings, which are now about 10, 11 years old. So that's the primary use of that fund. And this shows where the bond issue was, the date of the issue, which was December 1, 2007. The final due date is December 1st, 2035. The original amount of the interest. And this is the bonds and notes outstanding as of July 1, 2021. So we have $22,305,000 outstanding at July 1, 21. And then the next two columns show how much we'll pay in fiscal year 22 for the bonds and the interest. And then the following set of columns is based on the calendar year of 2022, and it shows what we'll pay, what bonds and notes are outstanding, what we'll pay for principal and interest, and then the amount available for other sources. So that primarily sums up our tax budget. Unfortunately, I am not able to take questions, but I guess you could email me if you have questions.
They could type it in the chat.
Pardon?
They could type it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
if they have
You can type it into the chat. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type.
There are 7 people watching, so
There are 7 questions.
people watching. Yeah, so
Oh.
the board members are definitely there.
Should be the 5 board members and Jen and possibly LaVonda. Oh, I'm forgetting that they can hear me. Do we have any questions?
No, I typed any questions and no response, so.
Okay, so we don't have any questions. And I thank you for your attention, and this will be all.
Nope.
Nope,
Dr. Turner said no questions. Thanks, Becky.
thank you. So next we're going to the board meeting at 6 o'clock. Thank you.